Hey, okay, well, the film The Last Voyage of the Demeter came out this week, or it might have even been yesterday, thinking about it. And I thought I'd give the trailer a look, seeing as I haven't seen the film yet, and do a reaction to that. I have a friend who saw it last night, Midnight Owl. Hi, Midnight Owl. Hope you enjoyed the movie. Few things before we start. I'm wearing a headset because my microphone on my laptop isn't brilliant, and also I am likely to stutter to some extent when saying the word Demeter at some point in this video, because it begins with a hard D sound, and such words often make me stutter. So, without further ado, let's go.
Evil is on board. Powerful evil.
Shit, that was loud.
We call him Dracula.
The Demeter, uncharted from
The Demeter, yes.
shipping private crates, contents unknown. Out at sea,
Beautiful old
no
ship.
land in sight.
This here is Clemens. He's a doctor.
You dress like a learned man.
University of Cambridge. I know my
Cool.
way around the boat.
Our charter has agreed to pay a bonus for timely arrival in London.
Let me show you the ship. This here is Huckleberry.
Huckleberry, the
It'll
dog.
come with like this to
Aw.
get the yaws clear.
I wonder if that's when the saying knocking on wood comes from then. It sounds like it might be nautical. I thought it was to do with coffins, but fair enough.
Something
Oh.
ripped apart the animals.
He's up,
All the livestock.
This looks like a bite.
nibbling.
Ship. Everywhere. Evil is on board. Powerful evil.
In the night, it drinks our blood. He is here. We call him Dracula.
Dracula. Yes, you do.
He's coming!
I think that kid's gonna get fucked up by the look of the room he was in.
I want to kill the cursed
Bit
thing.
warm.
He is on this ship, which means that we will never leave it.
The devil
Okie
is
dokie.
real.
I want to drink your
God have
blood.
mercy on us all.
Okay. Well, I think it looks okay. From what I've heard about it, I saw a review of it yesterday, of the full film, on Jason's channel, Sinister Cinema. And he makes a good point. He made a few good points actually, but one of them was about the monster, and it doesn't look like a Dracula monster, I don't think. It's more, I don't know, Dracula to me always seemed like a very polite demon. I mean, yes, he would kill you, but he would, welcome you to his house and then kill you in the middle of the night almost politely and drain your blood and all of that. But this thing looks more savage. And of course there was that side to the character as well. That's not entirely inaccurate. I don't know what the kills are going to be like in the movie, whether they reflect that's more savage looking nature. But as I say, to me, what this creature looks like in this film isn't what Dracula was in the book. Although of course the crossing from Romania to London is in the book, but it's never really been explored in film that much. I mean, okay, there was a brief scene or two of it in Francis Ford Coppola's version, Bram Stoker's Dracula, but we've never seen this particularly, and I'm in two minds about it, I have to say. First, yes, I mean, the situation, if you think about it, would be horrific. You'd be stuck in a boat watching slowly as your friends were either turned into vampires or eaten or savagely ripped to pieces. On the other hand, in terms of film, I don't know how you make a bunch of people on a boat for days. I don't know how you hold an audience with that, really. It depends how long it is. I mean, if it's an hour and a half, say, that's one thing. If it's over 2 hours, I think they're going to have trouble sustaining it. The director himself is very good. André Ordval, I think his name is, or Orvdal, one of the two. He's either Danish or Norwegian, I think. He did Troll Hunter, the found footage movie, and also The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is a favourite of mine, and which I reviewed on the channel a couple of weeks ago, and which actually did very well, so thank you for that. The look of the film is beautiful. Apparently they used a lot of, I was reading, they've used a lot of practical effects and CGI. I would imagine the practical effects were on the creature and probably the ship as well, but I would imagine the storm and the sea and everything mainly CGI, and the creature will have CGI enhancement added to it, which has been done before, like the Freddy Krueger mask in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, for example. It's been done before and it's been done well, so I think that's probably good. Looking at the trailer, the scene where the guy is on fire, I guess he's been turned into a vampire and is getting hit by sunlight or whatever, that looks a bit sloppy, to be honest. But of course, it's Dracula, so the whole thing is largely metaphorical anyway, from a literary standpoint. As far as the original novel goes, I mean, I've read most of it. I don't think I've finished it. I think I've read about half of it and listened to the whole thing on audiobook. But I don't know that it's necessarily what I'd call horror. It's dark gothic fiction. It depends what your view of horror is, though. I mean, you know, you could say the same thing about Poe or H.P. Lovecraft or Mary Shelley. Is it horror, or, you know, which is the primary thing it's seen as from a modern day perspective, I would say it would be the literary aspects of the book, certainly as much as the horror aspects that are notable, shall we say. Though, of course, Dracula, like Frankenstein, is one of the best known horror stories in the world, probably the best known, and it's an absolute classic, and I may well read it and finish it at some point. Would I go to the cinema to see it? Probably not. Again, I don't think getting bored would necessarily be the issue, because I mean it looks very actiony, very, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I think it's got to be made really, really well to sustain that level of dread and to put you in the shoes of those characters night after night, because it would be terrifying. It would be terrifying, but it would also be repetitive. And while a story like this is relatively easy to make repetitive, I would think, I don't know exactly how well it could be made, how you could sustain the fear throughout the movie. Certainly anybody interested in the Dracula story will watch it, I would imagine, and probably enjoy it more than somebody like myself. I don't know. I mean, if it came on a streaming service, I probably would watch it. Good cast, excellent director, it looks beautiful, but I don't know if I'd see it at the cinema, frankly. Which is a shame, because I like Ordval's work, but... And this is a good film. It's probably just not for me, I would think. There are elements of it that I absolutely don't like. I mean, that period in time is usually rather, in terms of society, rather cruel. For example, I'm not sure whether a black man would have been able to go to Cambridge and become a doctor, but then, because of institutionalized racism, obviously, but then so few people could go to university anyway. So, I mean, if his family was rich, it probably wouldn't make that much difference, or at least the racism would take a different form. I would imagine it would be the racism of limiting, rather than, things like name calling and beating people up or lynching them or whatever. It would be limiting them or assuming you knew what they thought or felt because they were black, which obviously is just as insidious, probably even more so, type of racism, because it's quieter. And I think, in a sense, it's closer to a lot of racism that's about today. I mean, I've no experience of racism, so I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong about all of that, I don't know, but that's just the way I kind of see it. That period in time is kind of, it sticks out in my mind as being one where people were very, not controlled, but there were limits and expectations in a way that, upon society, that we don't have now. you know, women, ethnic minorities, blah blah. So it wouldn't be my go-to for that reason, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a Dracula film to me by the look of it, unless they can make that fear last for an hour and a half or an hour or hour and 45 minutes or whatever they go for. Then I don't know, I think it could become repetitive rather than boring. But yeah, that's about all I can say about it, to be honest. I would watch it if it came on a streaming service, but I'm not gonna rush out to the cinema to watch it. And yeah, so that has been my reaction to the Last Voyage of the Demeter trailer. And I think I made it through without stuttering, which is impressive. And I hope you enjoyed this video as always. And please like, share, comment and subscribe and all that other good stuff. And I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.